Hi everybody, Virginia here. I want to stop by really quickly and show you what I had made for Trisha, who is a little shabby chic. She joined my swap that I hosted a few months back for a holiday embellishment swap. Well, she never received her package, and so we're trying to find that, but I wanted to make sure that if it is lost out there, that she also receives something. Her partner has already received hers, so for the holiday embellishment swap, you had to make 15 embellishments. You had 4 choices to choose from: Halloween, fall, winter, or Christmas. If you chose Halloween, you got an option of whether you wanted like a scary Halloween or you wanted a traditional like black, orange, purple, green. Fall was fall. Winter had to be blue, white, and silver, and you couldn't alter from that, and it had to be everything that had to go with winter. Christmas, you had 2 options: a vintage image Christmas in these colors, or you could do a traditional Christmas in red, green, silver, gold. So Trisha chose a vintage Christmas to receive for herself, and her partner also wanted a vintage Christmas. So let me get started. The first item on the list was a picture frame, and like I said, we had to do 15 embellishments. Some people say, oh, that's too much, but too many. But you had several months to get these completed, so it wasn't that much. But the first item on the list was a picture frame. You had to have an image on the inside. It could not be like you stamp on a paper and then put it in there. It had to be an image out of a book or one offline. So let me get started. I used a Michael's frame. You could use any frame you had so long as it was a fairly decent sized one. And you could use chipboard, a store-bought one, whatever. A wood one, it didn't matter. So I used this when it was already in the perfect colors, and this was from Michael's. I didn't do a whole lot. I added my image. I used some wild orchid flowers, some wedding trim from my stash, and some pearls out of my stash. And so that's her picture frame. The second item on the list was an altered spoon or fork. So here is her spoon. I used one of them small plastic spoons that you would get for the hors d'oeuvres at Walmart. Let me turn it over. What I did was, Roseanne had given me these little doilies, and so I just glued one on the back. I wrapped a very small lace on the spine, or the handle, I'm sorry, of the spoon, and I tied it off with a piece of seam binding. On the back, you know them dress it up buttons? That is what these Happy Holidays is. I don't really like Happy Holidays. I like Merry Christmas, but I used some more doilies here and here from the Paper Bag Lady. And then that's just a little button, and I don't remember where I got it from, but on the bottom I wanted it to resemble like snowflakes were falling off of the spoon. So I did various layers of them in different sizes, in different colors, and then I put a little snowman on the side. And so there's her altered spoon, or spoon. We also had to do a matchbox. It had to be a small matchbox. It had to have a hanger on the top and a dangle on the bottom. What I did was I did a snow angel for her. I covered the whole matchbox with Snow Tex. While it was still wet, I sprinkled glitter on it. As you can see, the glitter sparkle. These beads on there are just some old vintage beads that I had. And I pushed them into the Snow Tex, but before I did anything else, on each edge of the, right here and right here, I put glossy accents to keep it in place. I just added another doily from the Paper Bag Lady. There is my little charm. It's just a little snowflake. And then I put a bead cap on top and a little hanger up there. I put pearls and a wild orchid flower, and I just did that all the way around the matchbox. Inside, you did not have to do a scene, but I did ask that you at least put a piece of paper in there to make the matchbox look finished. There we go. I'm sorry about that. So what I did right here was I added more snow text, and then I put some of the glitter. On the sides right here to the top and this side, I put diamond dust. And so it sparkles really pretty. Inside I just used a piece of paper that went with the color theme. And behind there, I think you can see the little snowflakes. Yeah, you see the little snowflakes? I just glued them in there, and then I hung a little angel to represent the snow angel. And so there is her little matchbox. We had to do a small bottle. Oh, I'm sorry, wait, I left something out. The altered cork, I think. Okay, I did not have a cork, but we could use a cork or a spool. And I used a sewing spool. I left it all natural. I put some of this paper in there, a little banner of it. I put silver stickles on the edge, brown mesh bling there, some more paper bag lady doilies. This is another one of them dress it up little buttons. I just cut the button shank off in the back and put silver stickles. There is my little dangle. It says love. And what I did was I used 2 ribbon sliders, and I put them on the top, but before I glued them, I got a piece of seam binding and I ran it through each side of the ribbon slider and up through the spool, and then up through another one on the top. And then I glued them in place so it wouldn't move, and then I hung my little or tied a knot at the top. So there is her altered spool. Then we had to do the matchbox. I showed you that. A small bottle. I believe this is a Tim Holtz. I don't remember where I got it from. It might have been the one Roseanne gave me. But what I did was I put very small lace on the bottom, and then every so often I put a little dab of silver stickles. And if you can see that, I hope that'll focus. Let me see. Oh, there we go. And so on top, this was actually a choker, and I cut a little piece of the choker off and I put it on there, and then again stickles every now and then. I used a small little doily from the paper bag lady and glued it on top of the cork. I overlapped the edges of the seam binding through a ribbon slider and glued them, and then glued it onto there so it wouldn't come off. Inside, to me, vintage Christmas is pearls and glitter and pine cones. So I happen to have these small little pine cones, if you can see them. And I threw them in with some pearls and some of them little vintage, I don't know what they're called, they're seed beads. If you can see them right there. There you go. So that's what I put in there, and it's really cute. We also had to do a dangle charm. Our dangle charm could be chunky, it could be fairly simple. Lately I can't seem to do a simple one anymore. I don't know what's wrong. They keep coming out chunkies. But what I did was I recently received some altered dominoes from a very sweet and new friend, Irina, who is the Passion for Craft. And on one of the dangles, she had, or dominoes, she had the end where it was, she put 2 bead caps together, but opposite, and then ran a piece of wire through it. And it just looks so finished. So thank you for that idea, and I did scrap lift it. It's a great idea, and I think I'm going to use that a lot. I really like the way it looks more fancy, I guess. What I did was I just used various beads from my stash, and I used a lot of bead caps, silver, brown, white, cream, gold, and this is a sticker, and all I did was use another one of them little snowflakes and stuck it on the back so it would hang. This was an earring of the little snowman. I just cut the back off. Some more beads. I put a little Santa Claus charm. more beads. This was actually an earring, and I just hung it on there. This was on an earring. It's a little dove. More beads, more. And then I used a little tree. On this one, just more beads, and I made this little angel using a bead cap, or maybe a longer, shorter version of a bolo. Here's some more beads, and on this one I put another one of them little jewelry pieces, and this one says joy, and then another one of them angels. So there is her pretty dangle. It came out really pretty. I like it. We also had to make a stick pin. Now for her stick pin, I stuck it on the bag. Here is her stick pin. And what I did was I just used some bead caps and some beads. I don't know what that's called. It's kind of like a rondelle, but it's not a rondelle bead. And then I used I believe this is like a 3-inch stick pin, and it's actually, I got it at the Goodwill, and so I'm not too sure where you can get them, but it's fairly long and pretty. So there is her stick pin. We had to make an embellished flower, and it had to have a shape on the back side. I started messing around, and I had this wedding veil that came with this dress I got a while back. And I cut the edges of it off because it was frayed, or this wiring thing on it. And you can actually fold this like that, and it stays in place. And so what I did was I just gathered a long piece of it, rounded around and round, and made a little flower. And I did put it on a shape, but the shape kind of faded away behind it. And so what I did was I put it on the back of a big giant doily, or glued the snowflake to that. Inside here is just some flower stamens that I had, and they were the perfect color. So there is her flower. Let's see. We had to do an altered key. Now what I did was I just used a Michael's key. It was already distressed, didn't have to do nothing to it. I added one of the doilies that Roseanne gave me. Again, there's a doily on the bottom of this sticker that I got from the paper bag lady. Then I just added a piece of chain that I had from an old necklace. And this was an earring. And what I did was I just cut the back off and glued it to the key. So there is her altered key. It's really pretty. I also made an art. We had to do an art I make. Now I kind of cheated a little bit on my art I make. This is a, let me get it and show you real quick. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, this is what the Christmas ornament originally looks like. It's just a Christmas ornament, but it looks so cute. And if she don't like it, she's more than welcome to take it apart and, you know, do whatever you want. I used another one of the doilies from Roseanne. I left the ornament intact except for the little gold bauble that went there. I yanked it off. I put another doily from the paper bag lady and a flower. And so that is her art I make. We had to do a holiday shape. So what I did was I used a snowflake. On the snowflake I put one of these cushion buttons, I guess is what you could call it. You know, when you sink in the hole in the couch every so often, kind of like a pattern. Well, a lot of times they use these little buttons on there. Now Trisha, for this button, it has a backing on the back with this little clip, and all you have to do is unclip it from the top of the doily. It's not glued on there, it's just, if you can see it, on there. Oops, right there. Yeah, so you'll just unclip it from right there, and then you can take it off and do whatever you would like with it. I left the string on this hardened doily. I'd gotten a whole package of them from the Goodwill, and so I just used that snowflake doily on there. We were actually to use a different shape from the one we used on the flower, but I went ahead and used another snowflake. I was trying to get this out as quickly as possible. Once you remove that, you can flip this over, and let me just lift that, and there is your holiday shape. I just put a flower that I'd gotten from one of the girls, or a couple of the girls, a little spray, and then there's my snowflake. So there is your holiday shape with a little bonus on the front that you can yank off. We also had to do a paper doily. Our paper doily could be either punched out of cardstock, or we could use one of the very thin paper doilies that they use in baking. The only thing is you had to back that one so that it would be sturdy onto transparency or cardstock, whatever, just to make it, more sturdy. So what I did was I had some very thick glittered cardstock. The front was all glittered in silver. I glued my doily to the front of it, and then you can see right there the little sparkle of it. And then I cut around it and inked the edges. I put a couple of wedding appliques right there, some more flowers, and then this little piece, and I don't remember where I got that, but and then I just put some little brown gemstones, some more pearls, and again flowers, and then I got this little image offline. I backed it onto cardstock, inked the edges, and then I put puff dots behind it so that it would pop off the page. And behind, so that she can still glue this down to whatever, I put a couple of the doilies from the Paper Bag Lady, and I actually just ordered some more because I used all of them. I have no more, and I've been waiting for her to get some, and thank you, Dee, for putting up that little link, because I ordered me a couple. But I didn't want the flowers to be hanging off looking kind of yucky, so I put the doilies behind it. We also had to do a card. Again, I am sorry, I cheated, and I did try making 2 different cards, and I'm just not up with making the newer style of cards, and I do apologize for that. So I did give you a pre-made card. The importance of the card, it could be as simple as you wanted, no big deal. The importance of the card was that we wanted you to write, or I wanted you to write inside a very special holiday message to your partner. And so inside there, Trisha, is my little message to you, if I can open it. And I just used the pre-made card. Again, I'm sorry, I tried and tried. And we also had to send our partner a candy bar. The candy bar, we had to wrap it in paper. We couldn't just leave it like that. And then it had to have like a little quote, a little saying, something. And it had to be a little bit decorated. So what I did, again, I used some more of that paper. I wrapped it around the candy bar. I used this stretch lace, and in the lace you can see where I ran some ribbon through the little holes, and all the way around I put a flower with some pearls, a little flourish. I put a little sticker that says Joyous Noel, and a little ribbon slider with a brown pearl. There's her candy bar. And last but not least, we had to make or buy a goodie bag no smaller than a 3x5 and no larger than a 4x6. We could put anything we wanted in there, so long as what we put in there would help further embellish her holiday project that she was making with this stuff. So everything in there has to coordinate with this. So like you could put cream flatback pearls, brown ones, white, You could put little flowers to go with it, beads so that they could add on there, doilies, charms, just so that you could put, and you could put like little Christmas things. I did ask for no stickers to be put in the bags, but you know, if you put some, that's fine too. So this is what I did. I got this, it's not a grain sack, oh my gosh, burlap bag, and I left it simple. This doily is tied onto it with this vintage brooch. This vintage brooch I have had for a very, very long time, way before I got into scrapbooking, and I have been collecting vintage jewelry since I was about 14, that my grandfather gave me my very first piece. I've just had a love for old things. And all my old jewelry, it doesn't sit on my desk or here and there. It hangs on a mannequin I have. And so I wanted this to be special, and I went over there and looked, and I found this brooch on there. So this is really old. I hope that you enjoy it. And like I said, you can just take it off and use it on another project, and the doily also comes off. Inside, I'm not going to yank everything out, but again, like I said, you could put flowers, lace, stamens. I put like little beads that she could do something with. I guess I am yanking it all out. Some more of the brown mesh. I put a little ballerina doll. Let's see. Some little beads. I tried making a different flower, but I didn't like the way this one came out either. Sorry. I put a couple of like little glittered reindeer, some snowflakes and spray, or flourishes, I'm sorry. Some little holly leaves. Oops. I put in here, that's something separate, some buttons, some vintage buttons that I thought would go really well with, you know, to help further embellish her little project that she decides to use these on. And so, let me just tuck that in. So this is what I made for her. I hope that she enjoys it. It was a lot of fun making it. And Trisha, thank you so much, my dear, for joining my swap. I hope that you had a lot of fun, and I do apologize for you not receiving yours. I hope that this makes up for it. And everybody have a great day, and God bless, and we'll talk with you later. Bye.